Still no apology from the White House for that disgusting comment about Meghan's dad. But you know who did tweet about it, saying so-called leaks are a massive over-exaggeration put out by the fake media. But then he added, with that being said, leakers are traitors and cowards, and we'll find out who they are. So which is it? Are they, the leakers are the leaks are fake, or the traitors are leaking and cowards? I'm confused.
Usually he leaves it for a second tweet to undo the first one. This one, he captured it all in one tweet.
He left it out there.
I read this like 4 or 5 times last night. I was like, okay, I don't understand. Like, the leaking is fake, leakers are cowards, but the leaking didn't happen, whatever. But let me tell you, as the person who's involved with this and got the phone call, she said it, she admitted to it, so that part is 100% right, and I know because she called me and told me.
Yeah.
So let's start with that.
But Meghan, she can't apologize in public, because if she apologizes in public, then Trump has to apologize to your father in public. And he can't do that either. So that's why there's no apology coming down the pipe.
It's not even that. He's saying this may not have even happened, apparently. But I will say one thing that I'm so proud of. My family and my dad's office, they never had a leaking problem. And you have leaking problems when you don't have loyalty to the principal, when you're not inspiring loyalty.
Why did they continue to work there? Why don't they find some balls?
I don't know. That's between them and their
Why did they work there?
I don't know. But it's fascinating to me because it's always a sign of a bad campaign or a bad candidate or a bad politician when you have rampant leaking problems, because it shows that you don't have loyalty to the principle or to the message. And clearly, you got to look in your own house on that one.
Raj Shah said something about how people should be able to speak freely in work situations. The reason we have HR departments is you do have to think before you speak in work environments.
And if someone on your, on your watch says something like that, don't you say, you can't work for me anymore, or this is not the tenor that I want in my organization?
You know what? Whatever happens,
he can't.
You know, it's not happening right now. Israel is on edge right now. Yesterday, First Daughter Ivanka Trump and Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin celebrated the controversial U.S. Embassy opening in Jerusalem. Just a few miles away, 58 Palestinian protesters were killed and 2,700 more were injured. So I think people are questioning just the optics of what looks like a big party, where people are saying, we also live here, so how's this? I mean, we used to be known as the peacemakers, and now it feels a little like we might be part of the problem. What do you think?
Well, the White House response, I think, has been divisive somewhat, because Trump said in a recorded message at the ceremony, he said our greatest hope is for peace. Yet you have 58 Palestinians were killed and more than 2,700 were injured in Gaza, and many of the protesters were unarmed and they were shot and killed. Some did throw rocks. And now you have the White House, I guess the principal deputy press secretary, saying that Hamas bears responsibility for the deaths because it planned the protests where the Palestinians were shot. And I think that is just perhaps not the right message to send if you truly are the broker of peace in the Middle East, which is what Jared Kushner
I know as much as Jared Kushner does about the Middle East, so I don't know what to weigh in, but it just looks bad to me. That's all I have to say.
Well, because my understanding was this move was a long time in the making, but no one actually made the move. And I think that was because they were trying to keep more of a middle ground between both countries and people. And so I think this was the move, which is we've now chosen a side and this is where we stand.
Yeah, I mean, this is a campaign promise. That has been happening for a really long time. Bill Clinton, President Bush, President Obama even alluded to it in 2008, saying, I continue to say that Jerusalem will be the capital of Israel. And I have said that there before, and I will say it again. It is worth noting that Hamas is declared a terrorist organization by the European Court of Justice. I think Israel is our greatest ally in the Middle East. I think our relationship with them is vitally important for a whole host of reasons, including geopolitical. This one means a lot to me, honestly, and I wish sometimes right at this moment, I really having my issues, having a lot of pain and anguish about the Trump administration. It's hard for me to give them any wins because, again, just personally, it's hard for me to even give them anything right now. But this one, I'm happy to see this campaign promise fulfilled.
I'm concerned, because I believe that the Jews and Palestinians can and should be living together
Yes.
on that land. And I don't think that any one side should have done this. I don't think we should have done this at all. And now we've lost I feel, lost a bit of credibility because the Palestinians also feel that that's their land too. They've lived there, life has been there, that's their blood also. And so there has to be a way. And the problem for me is, what is the message we're saying is we don't care what you think, Palestinians. And I don't think that's the message that any of the former presidents wanted to send. I think they felt that there could be a way to do it. But, this is going to be going on for a while.
Yeah.
So we'll keep our eyes out on it. Yeah.
Can I say one thing?
Sure.
Just about the fact that he is making this was a campaign promise. Well, he seems to be representing only a smaller portion of the country than the majority.
But Chuck Schumer supports it as well. There are a lot
I
of
don't care about Chuck
pro-Israel
Schumer
Democrats.
either. But so what?
I think it had bipartisan support over the years, didn't it?
Yeah, but nobody
Clinton,
did because they saw
Obama.
what would happen.
But Chuck Schumer supports it as well. He isn't president, but he is a very powerful Democratic senator.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure it's got lots of support. I don't think it's the best thing for us, given that we have so many Palestinians and so many Jews and so many Egyptians. There's a lot of people that live with us that we also want to make part of our to make allies with us.
And that's
so,
the problem. If you want peace, if you want true peace in the Middle East, which is what Jared Kushner was supposed to be working towards, you cannot have peace and a peace process without Palestinian involvement. You cannot have it. And so if you choose a side and you say, this is what I'm going to do, you're effectively saying, you are not going to work for peace.
So
maybe they don't really want it. Maybe they don't really want it.
Well, so as I said, we will stick with this. It's not a story that's going away. And we're going to continue to talk about it. And it's going to make a lot of people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But this is one of those things that, this is the world we're in. And our world is encompassed by so many. And the decisions that are being made in our name. And we should have these conversations. So let's get into our minds here. Meghan Markle's dad says he will not be walking his daughter down the aisle at Saturday's royal wedding after it was discovered he staged paparazzi shots preparing for the ceremony. Apparently, he did it because he didn't like the way he is being portrayed in the media. Now, why would he not want to walk his daughter down the aisle? I would do the same. If I didn't like what I saw, I would shoot some cute things of myself as well.
That's true.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
This is like a big tempest in the teapot, seems to me. Compared to Tampon Gate. Remember that? And,
I don't remember that.
Oh, when Charles said that he wanted to be a tampon with Camilla Parker Bowles.
That's a thing?
Listen, this is the prince said it. I didn't say it. He said it.
Wow.
And remember Toegate when there was toe sucking? Those were scandals.
What was that?
That was Fergie.
What?
Fergie was getting her toes sucked in public while she was still upon the. You guys don't know.
A repository of information.
You don't know this. Whoopi knows it. Whoopi knows it.
What happened to privacy?
Privacy. Well,
That was the bitch that Charles had. Why can't they give me privacy? But it has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
No, but what my point was was that those were scandals in the royal family. This is nothing.
But no,
And he should walk his daughter.
to him it is a big deal, and he took himself out of the wedding.
I know.
Yeah.
They've been asking
I
him
feel
to come
sorry for
back.
them.
I do too.
It was a little. I think perhaps it was embarrassing because he got paid, I guess, to take those photographs and put those
hasn't?
But
photographs
his
out
daughter
there.
took the blame.
His
other daughter.
His other daughter suggested it, apparently. But wouldn't it be sad if her father weren't there to walk her down the aisle
he'd-
for a royal wedding
He'd regret
when
that.
she's marrying
He'll
a
do
prince?
it. He'll change it.
Look,
hope
darling,
so.
just
sure?
go.
Yeah.
Just go.
Yeah.
This is not going to happen a lot to you. This is the only time. This will be the only time you can walk your daughter down the aisle to marry a prince.
Yes.
That's true.
Go! Chance the Rapper was the commencement speaker at Dillard University in New Orleans, and he really gave the graduates a challenge. Take a look.
All of us have a responsibility to be greater than the people who came before us. Beyonce's performance was better than any performance Michael Jackson ever did. Beyonce had Mike. Mike didn't have Mike. Mike had James Brown. James Brown had Cab Calloway, and so on and so on. Right now, the greatest performer who ever lived might very well be in this audience.
Yeah. So, I have to do a chance. Paul Simon said something interesting, and he said, every generation throws a hero up the pop chart. So, the truth is, Beyonce's performance was great for now, as Michael's performance was great for his time, as every performer's time comes. And what you want to do is be the best you, the best you can be.
Yes.
And you can't always exceed somebody else. And that should, I don't think exceeding somebody else should be your goal, because you may not be able to do that. But it doesn't preclude you from being the best you,
Well,
that you can
isn't that
be.
Melania's thing, too? Be best?
Yes.
I don't know.
I think she meant be the best.
Yes.
She left out the.
Yes.
But
be
I
the-
sort of take issue with that whole thing, too, because there's one Beyonce, there's one Michael Jackson. They need backup singers, too. Everybody has a role. This idea to be the best, it's so much stress on a person. I think, there's a very high rate of suicide amongst college kids. I was reading this.
Yeah.
There always has been. And I think it's because they can't be the best and they can't live up to this high level that everybody puts them at. I mean, enjoy your life. It's very short. Take it from me.
I like to. The way I took it was that when he said we have a responsibility to be greater than the people who came before us, I took it to mean, these people are you don't need to roll yourself off of that. It's about a possibility model. So those people are possibilities for you, but be who you are meant to be uniquely and authentically, because no one can really do that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really important message for kids today, because I think kids are looking at Instagram and looking at social media and saying, I want to be just like this person,
Well, by the
as
way,
opposed to being
there's
the best.
only one Nina
you.
Simone, for example.
Yes.
No one
Uniquely
is
that
going to be
person.
better or worse than Nina
Yeah.
Simone. She was, in my
Nina,
opinion,
yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
great,
I
great singers.
understand
I'm just
sort
picking
of
her up.
what he's
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I did too.
But no disrespect to this table, no disrespect to art and music. I think pop culture and art is incredibly important in society. None of my heroes are musicians or
Yeah.
actors. None of my heroes are musicians or actors. And it's okay if, your fire chief down the street is your hero because he saved your house. For me right now,
Exactly.
anybody who's a nurse is my
but
hero.
that's the
Yeah.
that's
So,
the thing.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
Don't just be the best you.
Yeah.
Be the best you.
Yeah.
Because you can achieve that. You can always be a better you. You can
Yeah.
always improve
But there's
that.
only one you.
But there's only one
one.
you.
And he's talking
This is
about role
true.
models anyway, not heroes. He's talking about role models.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I thought, okay.
Yeah.
it's
But
different
different people get different
This
things.
is all
Sorry.
of it.
You're right.
Yeah.
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 We'll be right back. Chance the Rapper was the commencement speaker at Dillard University in New Orleans, and he really gave the graduates a challenge. Take a look.
All of us have a responsibility to be greater than the people who came before us. Beyonce's performance was better than any performance Michael Jackson ever did. Beyonce had Mike. Mike didn't have Mike. Mike had James Brown. James Brown had Cab Calloway, and so on and so on. Right now, the greatest performer who ever lived might very well be in this audience.
Yeah. So, I have to do a chance. Paul Simon said something interesting, and he said, every generation throws a hero up the pop chart. So, the truth is, Beyonce's performance was great for now, as Michael's performance was great for his time, as every performer's time comes, and what you want to do is be the best you, the best you can be.
Yes.
And you can't always exceed somebody else. And that should, I don't think exceeding somebody else should be your goal, because you may not be able to do that. But it doesn't preclude you from being the best you,
Well,
that you can
isn't that
be.
Melania's thing too? Be best.
Yes.
I don't know.
I think she meant be the best.
Yes.
She left out the.
Yes.
But
be
I
the-
sort of take issue with that whole thing, too, because there's one Beyonce, there's one Michael Jackson. They need backup singers, too. Everybody has a role. This idea to be the best, it's so much stress on a person. I think, there's a very high rate of suicide amongst college kids. I was reading this.
Yeah.
There always has been. And I think it's because they can't be the best and they can't live up to this high level that everybody puts them at. I mean, enjoy your life. It's very short. Take it from me.
I like to. The way I took it was that when he said we have a responsibility to be greater than the people who came before us, I took it to mean, these people are sort of, you don't need to roll yourself off of that. It's about a possibility model. So those people are possibilities for you, but be who you are meant to be uniquely and authentically, because no one can really do that. And I think that's a really important message for kids today, because I think kids are looking at Instagram and looking at social media and saying, I want to be just like this person,
Well, by the
as
way,
opposed to being
there's
the best.
only one Nina
you.
Simone, for example.
Yes.
No one
Uniquely
is
that
going to be
person.
better or worse than Nina Simone. She was, in my opinion, one of the great, great singers.
Understand
I'm just
sort
picking
of
her up.
what he's saying. I'm sorry.
I did too.
But no disrespect to this table, no disrespect to art and music. I think pop culture and art is incredibly important in society. None of my heroes are musicians or actors. None of my heroes are musicians or actors. And it's okay if, your fire chief down the street is your hero because he saved your house. For me right now, anybody who's a nurse is my
but
hero.
that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Just be the best you. Be the best you. Because you can achieve that. You can always be a better you. You can always improve
But there's only one you.
But there's only one you.
And he's talking
This is
about
true.
role models anyway, not heroes. He's talking about role models.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
I thought, okay.
Yeah.
it's
But different people get different things.
Sorry.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. People, we sometimes talk about, support animals.
Yes.
So American Airlines has now put out the list of support animals that are okay. You can't, but the ones that they say you can't bring a hedgehog or a goat or a chicken.
That's ridiculous, okay?
So
That's ridiculous.
but I want to show you a support animal that I could get behind. Please run that beautiful beam footage.
Really, really good.
I love that thing so much. Oh my God, we'll be right back.
So last night I was in bed and I was on Twitter and I came across a Twitter post of a guy I follow named Joe Mazzello, who you guys may know. He's an actor. He was in The Pacific. He's in the new Queen biopic. He played Tim in Jurassic Park. So I started following him on Twitter originally because his father has the same cancer my father does, glioblastoma multiforme. And his father passed away yesterday, or the day before yesterday, and he wrote this Facebook post that I was in bed reading, and I had tears streaming down my face because it was so beautiful and the most honest, raw way I've ever heard this experience described, and I'm glad you guys are letting me just read a segment of it. He said, taking care of my dad in the initial months after his surgery 2.5 years ago, and again over the past year in these extremely trying ways. It can only be described as a privilege. It was a great and immense privilege to have a father that I loved so much that I wanted nothing else but to be there for him and help in any way I could make this horrible and tragic end to his life better. It is a very long post. It is so beautiful. He's so honest, and I feel so alone sometimes in all of this, and I feel like no one else has this kind of cancer, and his honesty in this very public Facebook post really touched me. I want to thank him and his family for sharing this, and I just think if you or anyone you know is going through this, read it. It made me feel so much better last night.
Well,
It's really beautiful.
know that there are a lot of folks, you know, since you made the announcement, a lot of folks have come out and said, you know, my dad or my mom is going through the same thing. So you're a great beacon of light for folks. So
Thank you. So is he though, and
Yeah.
he described it as this cancer being the most pure evil he could, and that's how I described
cancer's
it.
it's an awful thing.
It's on his Facebook
Crappy
page.
thing. So maybe you can
It's on my
find a way
Twitter.
to put
I'll
it on.
tweet it
Yes,
again. But
that's
go
what I was
to
gonna
Joe
say.
Mazzella's Facebook page,
Cool.
and that's on his Twitter. It's
So now
How are you? Good.
Yes. Okay, so I have to start because Martha, my husband is in love with you.
Yes.
And said that the only reason why he married me, if that's him, Ben, is because he didn't meet you first. And he's obsessed with you. He brought you up on our third date. And if I didn't tell you, I said, Martha is coming on tomorrow, and he was so excited.
Well,
and,
tell me if you ever want to get rid of him.
But I had to let you know.
That's so cute.
He wouldn't like you.
You guys could never be in the same room
Martha, you're
together.
still single. There was a time when you were looking. Are you still looking?
Yeah.
Always.
Okay.
That's right. Right? Yeah. Believe in love.
Her eyes aren't broken.
Believe in love. Well, now you are the new judge on Chopped.
Oh, yes, I'm a recurring
You're
judge.
recurring judge.
And that is a good show.
Well, I have been on Chopped twice. I was
Were you
robbed
chopped?
of victory twice. But I did
Are
make
you festering?
I am. I made it
She
to the
hasn't gotten
dessert
over it.
round. I made it to the dessert round twice.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, and then
good.
victory was snatched. But that's neither here nor there. Are you a fair judge? You know, do you console the losers? What
Well,
do you
it
do?
depends. I think I'm a very astute judge.
Okay.
And I think that I think I'm fair. I can be very honest.
Okay.
And you know, it's a strange. They're given a strange
Ridiculous.
assortment of ingredients.
Yes.
I know.
And it's and I don't even know how some of the times they can make anything out of the
Yes.
I had to do it with
It's
challenging.
grapes and heavy cream. What am I
Well, that's
supposed to do with
good.
that?
That's good.
Oh, you can do a lot. with
Really?
that.
How about if they give you a cake, a pie, some whipped cream, and tell you to make a dessert?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Do you have to
dessert.
deconstruct
You do
it?
that thing they do
Out
with
of a
the...
cake and a pie and some whipped cream. That's
But you know that turkey,
and
they
then
stuff a
foie
salmon
gras.
and then a chicken and
You
that,
just
and then you just
deconstruct
put it
it.
all in one.
Yes.
You can deconstruct.
Put the cream on.
So anyway,
Anyway.
it's very curious, and the contestants are the ones who win are actually very clever and very good, and you have to give them a lot of credit because sometimes the challenge is really extraordinary.
It is, and the ones that make it through to
you
the
got
dessert round all the time, they're
that you
excellent.
got to dessert. Take that home.
Thank you.
We're working on this. But your latest project is Martha Stewart Pets.
Oh, yes. Oh, I love pets so much. I have many pets. I have hundreds of pets.
Yeah.
You know
Really?
that? Yeah. Yeah, I have about 250 chickens.
What, chickens?
I have
you're
Sebastopol
threatening
geese.
Sonny right
I
now.
have Pomeranian geese. I have
Sonny
6
only has
horses.
2.
I have four.
Four chickens. And how many eggs do they lay a day? I thought
Between-
you were going to have eggs out here for
Yeah,
me.
soon.
Oh, okay.
About 4 a day. I mean,
Oh,
between
that's good.
24 and 26 hours.
Well, that's
pretty
great.
good. They're really great
Yeah.
layers.
They
All
would have made
all
it past the
hands.
dessert
Yeah, all
level.
hands.
All hands.
So,
But-
Martha, since you're the pet whisperer, as you say, I know you have those chow chows. They're beautiful.
Oh, yes.
They are
Chow chows and Frenchies.
And Frenchies.
Yes,
have a Chihuahua?
And,
I enjoy a
Barney,
Frenchie.
your dog's name is Barney?
Bernie.
Oh, Bernie.
Named after Bernie
Bernie.
Sanders.
Oh. Well,
It wasn't...
And Bernie believes in single-payer health care. That's why I named him. So,
okay.
for veterinarians.
Well,
so I
but
want to ask,
my dog,
Yeah.
he's Asian. He's a Shih Tzu, right?
mine is a Shih Tzu,
So
yeah.
the Chow Chows, you know, and the Shih Tzus are kind of related.
Really?
Oh, yes.
But one's this big and one's this big.
Yeah, and they were fed them.
Right.
You know, the Chow Chows.
The Chow Chows ate the Shih Tzus?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And the Shih Tzus, the popularity of Shih Tzus has gone down quite a
vicious.
bit.
Rock, paper, scissors of breeds.
Those chickens almost ate my Bernie, by the way.
He attacked them
All right, but I
backstage.
want to ask your advice about something because I'm having a little bit of a dilemma with Bernie. Watch.
Yeah.
My 1-year-old Shih Tzu, Bernie, he's an adorable dog. I love him. But he has this habit of picking up articles of clothing, socks, brassieres, shoulder pads, all sorts of stuff in this house and dropping them all over my apartment. I bought him all these toys. Look at this. He's bored with these, okay? And I don't know what to do, Martha.
So, Martha, the thing is that the dog, what do you think I should do? Because he takes all my underwear and takes it to his bed.
So cute.
Well, I think you should have, here's the solution.
Yeah.
I think you should put some
Cute thing.
discarded underwear and things that you don't need any longer.
Yeah.
And put them out as toys.
I leave those for Steve.
Well, get another set. Get another set.
Why is he stealing shoulder pads?
He's
Yeah.
stealing shoulder pads because I leave them around the house.
What? You wear shoulder pads?
Yes, I have no shoulders. See, you have shoulders. Lucky you.
No, I would
But I
not.
don't.
I would rather not have such broad shoulders. It's hard to
No,
get clothes.
I have nothing
Oh.
shoulders, all
Well,
right?
anyway, here's the solution.
What?
This basket of beautiful things.
More stuff around the house?
No,
How
these are
much stuff do I
cute. Look,
need?
this is a Martha toy.
Hobson's hen.
Oh, is this a chicken?
Look at
Bird
this.
thing.
Egging them on right now.
They're so cute.
They love these toys. They
That
want to
toy-
kill it. They want to kill it.
That Chow Chow couldn't care less about these toys.
He's looking at your bra. He's
He
looking
wants
at-
my bra.
He wants your bra.
Dog's a perv, just like mine.
Look at these cutest toys. These are all Martha toys. Oh, there she goes.
These, you sell these, huh? These
Oh
are all
yes,
your
these are
things. This felt
all
like-
our
What's
toys.
this Chow Chow's name?
That is Empress
these Martha's?
Chin.
Empress Chin.
She was the first Chinese empress who probably ate Shih Tzus.
Okay, all right. All right, we're gonna have to take a break. Martha's sticking around because
so
when we come
cute.
back, she's judging a pet competition between Sonny's chickens and my dog. And we all know what happens when Sonny loses, so you don't want to miss this.
We are back with Martha Stewart, who agreed to judge The View's first ever installment of Best Pet on the Net. This is a head-to-head or head-to-beak matchup between Joy's dog and Sonny's chickens to see which pet has what it takes to be a star of social media. It's Hostin Hens versus Behar's Hound for all the marbles. So let's check out our contestants.
Bernie is an incredibly famous dog now. He has thousands of followers on Instagram. He doesn't even lick himself. He has people do that for him. I named him Bernie Sanders in particular because he believes in single-payer care for veterinary medicine.
It looks like a very smart dog to me.
He's a star, and you have to pamper a star. You have to brush them every day, and he's very particular about his hair. So yes, in that way, he takes after me. There really isn't a TV dog right now, I notice, which is good, because there's less competition out there. I mean, when I was growing up, of course, we had Lassie and Rin Tin Tin. And Lassie, I heard, was a total diva. But nowadays, there's no, like, really hot dog out there. So Bernie could be that hot dog. I keep pushing him. I got him on Instagram. We put outfits on him. We have him, you know, with celebrities. And nothing's happening yet.
I have 4 hens. Emmy, she rules the roost. Lolo, named after my daughter Paloma. She is the most spirited out of the group. And then I also have Attila the hen. And then I have Henrietta, who is the sweetest, probably. My hens are smarter than the average bird, and they're very good egg layers. Every single day, I get a beautiful, colorful egg. I have a flourishing Instagram account called Hostin's Hens. I suspect my Instagram followers will really grow and will likely surpass Joy's, but I just hope that we can remain friends when that happens. There's really no competition between Bernie, a dog, and this gorgeous bird with these beautiful feathers who lays blue eggs.
I have to admit, though, Bernie can't lay eggs. That's one thing he can't do.
I am sorry to just ask this, but what is his talent? I mean, what does he do?
Does Kim Kardashian have a talent? No. She's just cute. That's enough. He is the Kim Kardashian of the dog world. He doesn't need to have any talent. He just is fabulous like she is.
Joy is like dressing up Bernie. It's almost like he needs props to be cute.
I am not allowing my dog to go down for a piece of poultry.
Emmy.
And how is she, anyway, with these chickens? What is she, Old McDonald?
Let me tell you something, Behar. This is not E-I-E-I over.
A big welcome to Bernie Behar and Emmy and Henrietta Hostin. Martha, you had a question for our contestant.
Yes, well, my feeling is that Instagram accounts, especially for pets, should be very inspirational and informational.
Oh.
Are yours? And
Not
funny?
now.
No. What can we learn from your Instagrams with these lovely little pets?
Nothing really. Like I said, it's just an aesthetic experience. Look at him. He's gorgeous.
He's totally gorgeous, as are the hens.
There's a lot that you can learn, Martha, from my Instagram account.
Like what?
And in reality, it's sort of, we're in the social media age and everything is going so quickly. This is just a get back to basics for me. That's why I started owning and raising the chickens. And I've seen with my children especially how wonderful it is because they run out in the morning and they grab eggs. And statistics do show that when you raise chickens or when you have animals, you increase empathy with children. And I also have gardens for the chickens and for the children. And statistics also show that when you raise your own vegetables, children are more apt to eat what they grow.
Definitely.
And so when you look at my Instagram account, you learn about just what it is to get back to basics.
Joy, is
Oh,
yours
my
a
God.
support animal?
What? What?
Is Bernie more of a support animal for you?
He's a support animal, yes.
And by the way,
Just checking.
Do you take
Who
him
brings
on?
a chicken on a plane? You have to be an idiot.
Okay.
Henrietta can also
and-
walk on a leash.
Oh,
Yes,
big
they
deal.
Joy and Sunny.
Pretty
To
spectacular.
me, a dog that relieves your anxiety
And
is more important than some kind of animal that just lays an egg. I don't
And
even like eggs.
I would also like to. Add.
Your chicken walks backwards.
Yes, my chicken walks backwards.
Because he doesn't know
Sarah.
where he's going. Do you ever hear of a chicken without a head? That's this chicken.
Walks backward. And I would just also like to note that Henrietta and Emmy's right over there, brought gifts for the judges.
See, thank you.
You're
That's
welcome.
no fair. Hey, wait a minute. That's not fair.
Thank you.
That is called
Oh,
bribery of the judges.
Okay, all right, okay.
And wait a second. Look at what I have.
Megan
This
has
is
a
the
question.
toy that I want Bernie to chomp on.
I have a question.
A chicken toy.
I have a question, Joy. Okay, this is a tough competition that I know is important to both of you because you've been talking to me about it backstage for days. This dog is a Democratic socialist named after Bernie Sanders.
Right.
Yeah.
Do your chickens have any politics this Republican would like to know about, Sonny?
Oh, that is an excellent question. That is an excellent question.
Your hen is not Republican, dude.
My hens are independents.
Okay.
Oh, boy. That's not fair. Now
They're
she's going to get
independents.
Megan's vote because
Okay, wait,
of
we
that.
have to deliberate. We have to deliberate. We have to
Okay.
deliberate. And while our judges, aka us, deliberate, is there anything? Okay, talk amongst yourself. Who's the winner?
Here. Here, Bernie. Eat that chicken. Eat it.
What?
Eat that chicken.
What are we playing for?
Fame.
Martha.
Fame.
What are we... That's
Okay,
it. We
loud
have
voices
to
in my head.
Fame is not
the medical kind.
I
You
want
announce
to
it.
give
Okay, well, I think that the Hostin hen should win because of its educational and inspirational
You know what? Are you
nature.
smoking pot with that wrapper?
Okay, you guys. Everyone in our audience is a winner because you're all going home with a copy of Martha's magazine. A big congratulations to the Hostin hens.
This is an outrage.